Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and today I'm doing an introduction for my first ever Pan That Palette project. For 2022, I'm going to spend the entire year focusing on one palette and really trying to get it as used up as possible in this next year. The palette that I've decided to focus on this year is none other than the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. Yes, I know, so original, but this palette has so much use on it already. It's already got a good head start. It's a palette I know I love and that I can get use of every day. And with all those mattes in there, I think that it'll just be a great palette to pair with my other project, my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. I've also had this palette in my collection for about, I want to say 5 years. So yeah, it's up there. And I think that I should just get as much use on it in this next year and then get it out of my collection because it's getting to that point, I think. And the formula is still good. And I think that powder products, as long as they're performing, are fine to keep past their expiration. That's just my opinion. But I think this will be a really fun project to track over the next year and just watch as these pans just disappear right in front of your face. I do have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, I already have 6 pans in this palette. That's even more than I thought. This is what she's looking like now. You can see I have a big pan in Tempera. That shade I'm sure will not be difficult to use up at all. I have a good little dip in Golden Ochre, but could definitely get more use on that. Haven't used that shade a ton. I have a good looking pan in Vermeer. Just recently hit pan on that. Again, this is not a shade that I think will be difficult to use up. Bonfresco is the first shade that I would like to hit pan on in this project. I also have a pan in Antique Bronze. And there's a good looking little dip in Love Letter as well. I actually use that shade quite a bit. It's one of my favorite shades in the palette. I also have a pan on Cypress Umber. Small pan, but I've used that shade a lot for liner and deepening out the outer crease. I have a shade in Raw Sienna. That shade was also a part of my Pan Those Eyeshadow series. It took me about 30 uses, I think, to hit pan in it. So that's kind of a good measure for how long these mattes take, at least those crease colored mattes for me. And then I have a good little dip in Burnt Orange. That's another shade that will be very easy to hit pan on. I love that shade. It's also one of my favorites. I have quite a hefty size pan in Primavera. That one is also very easy to use. Of course, Vermeer and Primavera are like the pride and joy of this palette. Bring it all together. I actually have quite a dip in Red Ochre. That is a shade that I used for a Halloween look one year, and it has a good little dip in that corner. So that one will be another one I can focus on and get pan on that pretty quickly. Venetian Red is probably one of my least used shades in this palette, along with Warm Taupe, but I'm really warming up to that Warm Taupe shade. Haha. It's just a color family that I don't normally gravitate to, those like cool taupey shades, but I'm working on it. And then there I have Real Gar, another one of my favorite shades in the palette. I've actually used that shade about 25 times, but you could hardly tell it is that pigmented. So yeah, there she is. I think the way I'm going to do this project is I'm going to focus on a particular shade each month and try and hit pan on that shade. And then I'll just update you as we go along and see how things are going. And then once I've hit pan on all the shades, I'll work on using shades up completely. I have no doubt that there are several shades in here that will be very easy for me to completely use up. So I'm not going to force myself to use them up. I'm just going to let it happen naturally until I have pan on all the other shades. My first goal for this project is to hit pan on the shade Bonfresco. And I'm just going to choose the shade that I want to hit pan on. I think that'll just be more fun for me. And this one was already in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project this past month. So it's been getting quite a bit of use recently and it has quite a dip in there. So I think I'll be able to hit pan on that pretty easily in the next couple weeks. And since I am giving myself kind of a gimme goal, maybe I'll throw in a second goal as well. I'd also like to hit pan on Burnt Orange, which also has a good dip in it. So yeah, if I can hit 2 pans this month, that will be very exciting. I think it'll be really fun to track one palette, see how much of it we can use up. Hopefully it's a satisfying thing for all of you to watch as well. And thank you everybody who encouraged me to do this project. I hope I don't get too bored of the same eyeshadow palette the whole year, but I really am going to try my best to mix in a lot of other eyeshadows. So hopefully I won't get too burned out on one palette. And if I do, you know, but whatever. Like I said, I'm not trying to use up every single bit of product in this palette. That would not make it fun for me, but I'm really just doing this for the satisfaction of seeing how much progress I can make on a palette in a year. Hope you enjoy following along on this project with me. If you are interested in this project or any of my other projects, please subscribe to my channel. Give this video a like, leave a comment, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. See you soon. Bye.